Dave Ramsey begins by saying, let's talk about the 5 things that the Bible says we should do with our money. If you plant corn, don't be shocked if the corn grows. Don't expect that something that doesn't look like corn will grow from there. As you sow, so shall you reap. If you plant nothing and wait on the government, don't be surprised if you have mud. This is how it works. You are in charge of planting, and this is how you'll do it. The first thing is to get on a written plan. He calls it a budget plan in the financial world. Don't build a tower without first counting the cost, lest you get halfway up and you're unable to finish, and all who see you begin to mock you and say that this man began to build and was unable to finish. Don't build a tower without first cutting the cost. His friend Zig Ziglar used to say, if you aim at nothing, you will hit it every time. Also, his friend John Maxwell says a budget is people telling their money what to do instead of wondering where it went. Winning is an intentional act. Getting to the Super Bowl is an intentional act over decades of developing your skill. No one accidentally grows a bumper crop. Plan something, control the process, and control the controllable. Wait down. This is my plan. He is going to take care of his own household first, and we're going to live this plan out, and we're going to do this thing. It changes everything. The second thing is you need to get out of debt. The deal is the borrower really is a slave to the lender. The rituals over the poor, and the borrower is a slave to the lender. He lost everything because he let other people have control over his life. He called it a master. He quit borrowing money for anything for any reason. He had to learn this magic ancient word called no. You need to learn to say no, and most people don't even know this word. You have to say no more. I'm not gonna play this game anymore, making a new part of your vocabulary. Love it. Embrace it, because when it comes to spending money, you'll need to say it quite often. He doesn't have any credit cards for 38 years, and he has to just keep what he only has. You can't make any money goal a reality without a budget. That's why it's important to do a budget every single month before the month begins. Make a plan for your money, stay on top of your spending, and make more progress toward your goals. Whether that's paying off debt, saving more money, or investing for your future. He learned from the Bible the borrower is a slave to the lender. Remember, you're living like no one else now so that later you can live and give like no one else. In 20 years, you won't have a financial worry in the world while everyone else will still have car loans, mortgages, and credit card bills. Getting out of debt is hard. When you have to say no to friends, concerts, and going out to eat, it's even harder. That's why it's important to find someone you trust to hold you accountable for your goals. It can be your spouse, your best friend, or even your neighbor. Just make sure it's someone you trust and it's someone who will actually hold you to it. The third is to foster high-quality relationships. The Bible says, do not be deceived by evil. Evil company corrupts good habits. Did you know you become who you hang around with? Studies say that your 10 closest friends over the next decade prove that your income will be within 10 to 15% of the average of your 10 closest friends. Maybe some of you have to change some of the groups of people you usually hang yourself with mostly. Do you see the relevance of that? You will adopt the habits of the people you used to hang yourselves with. You will become who you hang around with on a regular basis. Remember, do not be deceived. Evil company corrupts good habits. Therefore, spend more time with people who are generous, who do show kindness to others, who respect time, who value family, and who give priority to their relationship with their spouse or kids. For example, and you will become like what you're doing. Like those who treat their wives with respect. For the men, if you will find men who treat their wives with respect, you'll start treating yours that way. It's a fantastic thing that happens. He emphasizes his own crew, the key people in his life that shape his language, that he is grateful for the men in his life that impacted his spiritual wealth and his generosity, and he is thinking in business. For the ladies, he has the same encouragement for you. You will become who you share most of your time with. Surrounding yourself with good people can affect every aspect of your life, from business to romantic relationships. When you surround yourself with positivity, you're more likely to adopt empowering beliefs and see life as happening for you instead of to you. Just as you benefit when you surround yourself with people who make you happy, you suffer when those in your business or social circles are negative or narrow-minded. The fourth one is save and invest. Imagine if you don't have any payments and you've got a plan. The first thing you're going to want to do is to save and invest, because in the house of the wise are stores of choice of food and oil. And the rest of that proverb says that a foolish man devours all that has. If you spend everything you make, biblically speaking, you're a fool. He knew what being a fool felt like. He says that it feels like being broke because he spent everything he made because he has always been able to make money. He just wasn't able to keep it.
He always thought that he could out-earn his stupidity, and he tried it for a very long time.
It doesn't work, so save and invest. We are saving for an emergency fund. First, save 3 to 6 months to get ready for something like a rainy day. Look at what happened during this pandemic. No one saw it coming. What if you had no payments and a big $20,000 emergency fund and 2020 happened? What if you had $20,000 in payments and no money for emergencies and 2020 happened? You have two different results. You can be prepared, and you can feel discouraged because you have not prepared anything for you to use during that time. If you save and invest, you have something to use in times of need. Look at the life of the ants. We can learn something from them. They save food when it's not yet raining, so they have something to eat when the rainy season comes. Again, the house of the wise are a store of choice for food and oil. Then that leads you to the position to the incredibly and outrageously generous.
It's hard to be generous when you're broke.
You can be generous to smile and open the door for somebody, but he is talking about writing a check to feed hungry babies. He is talking about buying a single mama car. He is talking about you can reach over and pay somebody who's struggling with bills through the end of the year. He is talking about being outrageous, even sometimes spontaneous generosity, and you can do that if you're not broke. You've got your stuff taken care of at home. If your life bill is paid, you can help somebody. Generosity is the quality of being kind and unselfish, especially as it pertains to sharing money and other valuables with others. The Bible even has a lot to say about generosity as a desirable character trait. God challenges us to be generous because He wants us to receive the blessing that comes from it. Jesus said, "Give and it will be given to you. A good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over will be poured into your lap. For with the measure you use, it will be measured to you." God is seeking people who will reflect His character and model His generosity. He delights to bless them and show Himself strong on their behalf. Look at this scenario. You have given yourself an opportunity to bless someone who is working, for example, at a restaurant that is open during the holiday. Let us say that day is Thanksgiving Day. You ask your kids to stay at the parking while waiting for you to buy something in that coffee shop. You saw this woman smiling at you while serving you this hot coffee you ordered. And before leaving the place, you put $250 as your tip. Imagine the joy that was shown on her face because, for a very long time, no one has ever done that to her. And good thing that your 6-year-old kid is looking out at the window of the car and saw what just happened. That changed his mindset forever. That smile of that woman that she didn't even see coming that day? Imagine spending $400 with your spouse on a really nice night or wonderful vacation and enjoying your time together. There is a time for all of us to get a little better and change. Now is the best time to do that. May we not forget the lessons we learned during the pandemic, and as we continue to build a strong plan to manage our finances, let us remember that no one started it so easily. If Dave Ramsey can share something like what you have heard from him, it is because of his years of experience. So, start small, be consistent, and trust God that He will allow this to grow.